Father? Son, die.
Hello everyone and welcome to a Retired Review. Today we're taking a look at set number 8892, Piraka Outpost. The set was released in 2006, contains approximately 211 pieces, and during release was approximately $30. So here we have it, we're kicking things off with our first 2006 playset. Obviously enough, it's one of the smaller ones. I think it's actually the smallest of 06, which is why we're going to start off with that. So before we start, as always, disclaimer, these are all my personal opinions. I'm doing my best to provide you with what I think about the set because reviews and community opinions weren't as commonplace back when the set was out, so I don't really know what the community thinks, so I'll just tell you what I think. That out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. I think a good first place to start would be with the minifigures. Now, obviously enough, they've changed drastically since 2005. They are much different. They're larger, they have more articulation, featuring at least, I would say, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or about 6 points of articulation. I would argue these are a great improvement over the prior Bionicle minifigures. As we can see, we have 4 of them. We have 2 Piraka and 2 Toa and Nika. So we have Radak, Thok, and then Kongu and Jala. Now, along with all of these sets, these come with a variety of weapons. In this set, we have all 12 different weapon types, and the ones you see my minifigures holding now are actually what the instructions would recommend. However, the weapons that they hold vary from place to place. So you can see them holding these, you can see them holding other ones in promotional material, and that's because the set really wants you to do whatever you want to do. So just keep that in mind. As for the set itself, we actually have a couple structures, or at least we have one structure and then one vehicle, I suppose. And we'll go ahead and focus on the structure first. So we'll go ahead and move Fen Rack out of the way. So this is a fascinating structure. This is actually the Outpost, and this is one of a few different canonical examples of a Nektan robot. This is a fixed Nektan, and a Nektan is a guardian robot commonly found in Bionicle, used by a variety of different people. This is one of 2 actual set-based items titled Nektan, 2 or 3. I'll say at least 2 or 3, because it really does vary depending on what you're looking for, what source you are finding this out from. So at the very least, this is a fixed Nektan. We can see it is a blaster, basically a turret, and the way it works is very simple. You pull back on this top lever here, boom, and you can shoot the projectile. Obviously enough, the turret does go up and down. It also turns, and then you can have anyone you want on the back here to just kind of stand there and operate the turret. So it's a simple design. It's a very interesting look, and you can kind of sort of see how this is adapted in the Voya Nui online game for Bionicle, because they have like 3 or 4 legs that they kind of stand on. And so if you take this off and set it down on those little points, you can kind of see where it looks like a Nektan. The structure itself is fine. We can see it does use some of these, I don't know if these are smaller burps or if they're all just one and the same, big ugly rock pieces. I don't mind these. They don't stand out as much to me. They're in brown, so I think that's a nice variation of color. The whole structure itself is seated on this giant plastic piece. This is one large piece. I don't mind these as much because they're a little more interesting looking. On one side, you have these stairs, and on the other, you have other stairs. But it looks okay to me. I think I would have preferred something made out of bricks, of course. However, this is far more tolerable than the prior year. As far as this base is concerned, we obviously enough have the rock structure with what seems to be a prison of sorts. I'm not sure. And the turret on top of that. Additionally, right here, this can come off. It is not held into place by anything. And I checked the instructions. This is by design. I guess you can put weapons under here or have people kind of just jump out, but that is how that is. Next up, we have the baby Fen Rack. Now, canonically speaking, this is apparently supposed to be a baby Fen Rack, a small Fen Rack spider. I don't really see a whole lot of the comparisons. You can make some, I just don't think they're very strong. However, it's there, I suppose. Now, I actually find this part of the set to be the most egregious part, and it's specifically due to this turret right here. As you can see, this huge, well, I mean, it just kind of demonstrated my issue, to be perfectly frank. It's only held up by one ball joint right behind this Kanohi mask. Now, if you want it to kind of come up and stay, you can get it to. It's just incredibly precarious, and it will flop down immensely. These are actually joints I swapped out, because the joints that originally came with this were so loose, it just wouldn't even stand up like that. So these are actually joints that I had to find in order to get it to do that at all. But now you can see, there. So it's possible, it's just incredibly difficult. I find this to be an immensely poor design. It just doesn't work basically at all. So if you get it new, maybe it'll work out like this, but over time, it's going to work more like that. I find this to be unfathomably egregious. I don't like that whatsoever. It is a major hit against this. Otherwise, I think the set is, or this portion of the set is fine. I don't really like the use of this mask. I don't think it looks very good on this set. I think it kind of gives away it being a creature, as opposed to giving it a mask that is meant for a person. The legs are fine. I don't mind the color scheme too terribly much. It's black and dark gray, silver, and a little bit of white up front, and of course, dark red, which I think actually does look pretty good. On the front, we have these two saws, which you can spin. They work as per usual. Up top, obviously enough, we do have this contraption which a figure can sit on. However, if you take the figure off, you can launch the Zamor Sphere launcher up top just by pressing on the back of this. There we go. So, works like a charm. So overall, I think this is a nice addition to the set, but easily the weakest portion of it, and it really brings my opinion of the whole thing down quite a substantial degree. Overall, I think that compared to any of the other 2005 sets, sans Battle of Metronui, there are a ton of improvements to be found here. That being said, I think this is easily one of the weaker 2006 playsets. While I really do enjoy the majority of the spider creature, the Fen Rack, I cannot forgive that top turret. It is simply poor design. I won't say it's lazy. I don't think that LEGO design can be lazy necessarily, but I definitely believe that this is a sign of a failed quality standard. I don't think that that looks very good at all. It doesn't work very well at all, and it could have really improved the set if either that was completely taken out as a functionality or if it were supported substantially. As far as the actual outpost, I actually like the outpost. I think that it works fine. It's not super colorful, but it's enough to look natural like an outpost, and then you have the Nectan up top, which I think is neat. The minifigures are, of course, a massive improvement from the last Bionicle minifigures we got. They're all uniquely molded masks, and they have accurate colors to the full-size sets, so I think that in and of itself is wonderful. Overall, I think that this is a mediocre at best set. I don't really like it a whole heck of a lot, however, you may feel differently. As far as canonicity is concerned, the set is technically canon. Both portions of it are said to be officially in the story. However, this specific instance is never shown in any story material. You have the Nectan turret, the Piraka Outpost, featured in, I think, Power Play, the book. So this does exist. There are several of them, and the Nectan are obviously canon. The Fen Rack spider is alleged to have been in 2006's story, Jala having tamed it, and the Toa Nika using it in various different instances, but we never actually see that in any material. And while the baby Fen Rack is apparently canon, it is never featured in any canon material either. So that basically covers it. Thank you all so very much for watching. What do you think of this set? Let me know in the comments below. I read all the comments, so I'm more than eager to hear what you think. And of course, let me know if there's anything I missed, anything I messed up on, or anything you would like to see in a future review. So that being said, thank you all so very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Farewell.